arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in BKFC.
All due respect to Richard Barnett, he's held the belt, but that's my belt now. I want it.
I'm built for this shit. Are you not entertained?
Kevin Crew came to drop bombs and bang moms. What's up, ladies?
What's up? It's Brian Socia live from Satellite 5 for the Bare Knuckle Show. Of course, Broken Brandon here, Evan here as well as always. We join you every week. We're excited to be here with you. A lot of stuff to talk to. What's going on, guys? Oh, nice little dainty wave. Hi, Brandon. How are you?
Hello. Sorry, I'm texting Phil our upcoming schedule, so I'm all
That's good.
fucked
Happy
up here.
birthday to Phil. Happy birthday to Phil.
Phil just turned 52.
52. Well, there you go.
Probably didn't want to say that.
Nah, but he looks great. He's AARP. When does AARP start?
55. Get your colonoscopy, Phil.
He'll enjoy that. All right, so let's talk about a lot of stuff that's going on today. Evan already started with fireworks. A lot of great stuff. Matter of fact, Brett Fields, you saw him this past event. Brett Fields is going to join us after a big win this past Friday. You might not know a lot about Brett, but this guy has an insane story, including everything from like gang involvement, prison time, and now through fighting and stuff, he's chasing redemption, also through his honesty. Very honest guy. We're going to learn all about that stuff. Some crazy stuff that a suburban guy like me never would have experienced. So it's cool to talk to him. Also going to be joined by Chris Lights Out Lido for a Lido look back of BKFC 51. We'll get his take on tryouts and we'll do a Lido lightning round. That'll be a lot of fun. Chris will love that. Some exclusive photos from BKFC 51 as well. And we're going to check out a moment that many of you may have missed at the press conference, the post-fight presser. It was pretty cool. We'll get into that. Plus a BKFC fighter retires and another BKFC fan favorite is back. All that and so much more we'll get into today. But first things first, I know that, look, I'm going to complain. Evan, I'd like you to complain too if you feel the need to. Before we do complain, I want to say hello to Brian Maxwell. Great fight. People are saying could be fight of the night. It was like a Rocky story. Brian Maxwell, congratulations on a great fight. I'm sorry how it ended. And I also, he's in the chat. I also want to say hello to Scott in the chat, Swervo Cruz, Wesley Killeagle, Russell Maxim. We'll be talking about him in a minute. Kyle Mish. So many people here.
Shout out to the Reddit boys.
Yeah, they're all here hanging, man. We appreciate that. Now, what I want to complain about, Evan, I think we have the same problems from this past trip, BKFC 51. The hotel we were at, come on. Yeah. It was ridiculous. They're doing construction. They're banging all the time. They're sulling. They're dropping stuff almost on people as they're walking out the door. And then for me and you, we both realized we shared this, and I'm going to give you a nightmare here because I recorded the sound. You know, in Montana, I talked about the train that was always going by where I couldn't sleep. Here it was different. It was inside our room. So I was in one room, Evan was in the other room, but we were right next to the elevator shaft, right?
We were in the same room.
Yeah, right. Right next to the elevator shaft.
You can tell them.
And this is what we heard like all the time. Anytime somebody took an elevator, just hit the effect and listen. I recorded this so you could hear what we were dealing with. This is from my phone in the room. I mean, every morning at starting 5 a.m. you would hear this.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down. Did you hear it?
I heard it, yeah. I'm actually getting flashbacks.
It's pissing me off.
It was 6 I heard it, and it pulled me out of my dream. I forget what I was dreaming about. It was probably hot.
We were dreaming about dropping bombs and banging moms?
Yeah. Shout out, Kroom.
By the way, I do bang moms because if you think about it, my wife is a mom to 2 children.
So,
right? So I could say
mom.
That. Yeah, mom. Yeah, I bang a mom.
Congrats.
You're welcome. You will one day too now that you're married, hopefully. Good for you.
I think, doesn't it stop after they become moms?
No, not at all, man. You got to keep that love alive.
Well,
Best. That's a great thing. So the elevator noise, let's just do better. I mean, elevator noise, there were nails in the parking lot because they're doing reconstruction. Me and you were on a floor they didn't even redo yet. It was like from 1987. I think Brandon had like a newer place, right?
Yeah, they're doing it from I was on floor 5 and that was kind of newer. And then I stopped on floor 4 by accident and the doors opened and it was just gutted completely. I was like, what the fuck? So they're working from the top down, I think.
Yeah, that's you get the penthouse suite up there. Yeah. So Evan and I
it was a Hyatt, so usually they're all right, but that one was shitty.
I thought the same thing. It's like I like Hyatts, but
the only good thing was it was right next to the airport. So you could, I could wake up an hour before my flight boarded.
That is a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
Let's check in. You ready for this, Evan? We're gonna get this right today, me and you, because I always screw it up.
What are you gonna call for?
I think it's time for.
Don't say it. Does it start with an M?
Yes,
Okay.
it's time for mail call.
Let me come over there and snatch you up off that couch. It's time for mail call.
We got it today, kind of. They're getting better every week with that.
I'm sick.
I know you're not feeling well. I hope you feel better, man. Don't come over here. I don't want to get sick. Ryan Perez, Britton Hart. You can kind of see it. That picture finally went up from last week. They sent that in. Keep sending your photos in, of course, to the Bare Knuckle Show at gmail.com. You can also send videos, anything you want. Send it in. You find something interesting. You want us to question about something. You want to talk about something. Hey, Slick Rick Caruso. He's in the chat. What's up, Rick? Thanks for being here. Today on the mailbag, the first thing I want to talk about is a lot of people at the show, a lot of fighters at the show. Tony Loco Soto was there sitting front row, and he decided to send this into the mailbag. He was recording me, and he had some interesting commentary. Let's listen to what he had to say. I had no clue he's doing this.
Look at that stud muffin right there. Fucking stud. Sweating pure grease.
I'm an Italian. Of course I'm sweating pure grease. That grease in the hair, man. Oh, there it is. First, that was weak. A bucked up bird. First one of the day.
Bucked up yet.
You're not feeling well yet, man. Yeah. So, Tony, thank you for recording me and your commentary of calling me basically a grease ball. I appreciate that. Let's look into something a little more serious. This is really cool. And this was sent into the mailbag. Someone said, are you going to talk about Dave's dad going into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame? Of course we're going to talk about that. The great Marty Feldman, legendary, was inducted this past Saturday night at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I know that Dave and his brother Damon were there to graciously accept the award. You see Marty down the bottom. Marty was just a top-notch coach, top-notch boxer. This guy, anywhere. But you mentioned Marty Feldman, you're getting respect. So he always would say, like Dave does a lot, my man. So my man, Marty Feldman, congratulations.
My man, fucking man.
That's it. He is the man. And he deserves to be enshrined in yet another Hall of Fame. This guy's legendary. So now he's in the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marty Feldman and the Feldman family. I think it's really cool. It deserves mentioning. Thank you for sending that in. People are really following along here. Also, I want to thank the Extreme Bare Knuckle fans page on Instagram. They had these stickers made. I thought it was really cool, and they brought them to us, if you can see it. If you see us at a show, we'll give you a sticker. Let us know. Billboard Nerds also congratulating the Feldman family on the chat here. I thought it was very cool about those stickers. And matter of fact, the crowd outside at our last show in Salem, Virginia was loud, proud, ready. And this little kid was so, wait till you see this video. He was so excited to get a Bare Knuckle Show sticker. I mean, we filmed him. He's a gigantic fan. You can tell by the expression on this kid's face. It made me feel really good that he cared this much about our show. Let's roll the clip.
Shoot this kid. I love him. Come here.
Shoot this kid. I love it.
No, show this guy what sticker you have.
Look at this guy.
Looks real happy.
He's like, leave me alone. Now look, this is how I was getting the crowd hyped too. That old lady who said to me, she said, my friends don't believe I'm here. So I was pretty pumped up. A lot of bucked up energy there. This is one line. There were like 2 or 3 lines like this as we were letting people in. I think that's really cool that you can see the product growing. People having a good time. These guys in the back like, who's this idiot? What's he doing? Can you fill us in?
They didn't know back here.
Well, there you go. I mean, we saw how excited that kid was. That made me so happy. Thank you for being such a fan of the Bare Knuckle Show. I mean, Evan, you saw the expression on that kid's face.
Yeah, he looked delighted.
Oh, he loved to be filmed. He was pumped up, man. We love it. Also, you know, the crowd was very loud, like I said. They were excited outside. But inside as well, we caught another. If you miss it, you don't see this on TV. This is what Evan caught of an animal in the crowd. Look at this guy like a nut. Black shirt up there. Look.
People go absolutely feral for free T-shirts.
Oh, they love them. Yeah, when I worked in radio, when you would do a bar gig, the things that could happen for a free T-shirt were disgusting. It was insane. That guy's excited. Here I come, down out of the crowd, not even knowing you're there, Evan.
Get any of that? Did you get that? Watch this. Watch this.
I don't even remember this stuff that I do. Like, I don't remember doing this. How much better would it have been if I fell? This is great. Thanks for catching this, Evan. don't know what that was. Yeah, the crowd was nuts there. They were very loud. You heard it come across on TV. We love meeting the fans. And if you ever come to a live show, you'll see I go around. I give out free stuff, shirts. I like to get in with the fans and meet you guys and women too as well. Everybody. I really appreciate everybody that comes to the Bare Knuckle shows. That being said, the crowd was loud and proud all night long, especially for the locals, including Kane Tomlinson Sr., who was there, who fought Brett Fields, who we're going to be talking about later today. And it didn't go Kane's way. And this was a piece of mail sent in. They said, are you going to talk about the retirement of Kane Tomlinson Sr.? Of course we're going to talk about it. And we actually have a thing you can see on his Facebook post here. First, thanking the city and loving that he was able to fight from it. It was so electric in that crowd. And then saying that he really appreciates love and support. He's officially retiring, which, we appreciate your time here, Kane. We're glad that you fought. We're happy that you gave it your all, and we wish you a happy retirement. And I'm sure we'll see you around at upcoming Bare Knuckle shows soon. So congratulations to Kane Tomlinson Sr. on his retirement. We appreciate him. We're glad that he is here or was here and will continue to be part of our organization by coming to shows. Now, Brett Fields is going to be coming on in just a couple minutes. I don't know if he's in the virtual waiting room yet. I don't believe he is. So
no, he's not.
All right, he'll be on in a couple minutes. As we move on, I want to talk about what's going on in the comments now. I always like to check the comments. Brian Maxwell saying, he's in there saying, I hope I get fight of the night with Harris Stevenson. And that Brian Maxwell fight, another local guy. I mean, that fight, to me, it was like, I don't know, it was like a Rocky story. Maxwell would fall and the crowd would come unglued and like will him back into the fight. And then they would it was like a slobber knocker. They would just swing at each other. I didn't think it was going to go five. And I think it went, was it 4 or 5 it ended because of the unfortunate finish of it. But I thought that fight would be a little quicker in the beginning. And I realized that these guys they're just going to beat the brakes off each other. And they did. So there's all different types of varieties when you tune into bare knuckle fighting, from technique to brawls to whatever. I don't know what it was, a little bit of everything, but it was an exciting fight and a way to watch, I think. Let's see. So Brian's in our chat now. He's very excited. He hopes he gets fight of the night. I don't even know who's getting fight of the night. By the way, Kyle from Mission Accomplished podcast was excited. He said the burp is back, the bucked up burp. A lot of people commenting in here, and we appreciate that as always. So as we get back to the show here, I think that I'm gonna do. We like to do this when people are late. We like to call them out on the carpet. So
is he an East Coast guy? Did you say?
No, I told him the time. He's in Chicago. I'm gonna call him live.
They're an hour back.
Yeah, I told him. I'm gonna call him live and see if he picks up. He said he got the text. This is Brett Fields. We have to hold people accountable if they're not on time. It's ringing through. I like calling him. That man was like Hulk Hogan working off the crowd. Rick Caruso says that when we're talking about. Hey, what's up? You there, Brett? Oh, wrong number. I called somebody else. Brett. Got to call Brett. This is insane. We're doing this every week now.
Who was that?
I'm not gonna say who it was. You know who it was, don't you?
That sounded like your wife.
No, it wasn't my. My wife's like, "Why'd you hang up on me?"
Is that Katie?
No.
Who was that?
No. Now they're calling me back. I can't do this. I'm not answering the phone call. If you know who you are, if you're watching, I'll call you back. I can't do it during the show. Let's get a hold of Brett Fields, because he's got an interesting story to tell, and I want to get into that. All right, Brett, here you go. Let's give you a call. Call Brett Fields. No. Decline that call of my wife or whoever that is. That'll be interesting later when I go home. Maybe I won't be dropping bombs and banging moms tonight. Here we go. Here's Brett. It's hot in here today.
Hello?
Hey, Brett, you there, man?
Yes, sir.
You going to call into the show, bro?
Oh, you want me to call in right now? Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, remember 11:20 or 11:19 your time. So hit me up, call in with that Zoom link, and we'll talk to you. I got a lot to talk to you about, man. I'm excited.
All right, I'm going to call right now then, buddy.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. There's Brett Fields. See, a little misunderstanding there, it sounds like, but they're excited here in the chat. They're saying that, what's good afternoon, ladies, somebody said. I like that one. Soscia hanging up live.
While we wait, Soscia, you missed a piece of...
What'd I miss?
Here, throw it up.
Oh, okay, that was part. How did I miss that? This meant a lot to me. This got sent in, I believe it was Jackson. Let me look at my format. But I met this kid in Florida, and his dad was his birthday, and his dad was super cool. His dad sent this in. He said, hey, I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you did for Jackson. Yeah, Jackson, he cried happy tears. You really did it big for him. That means a lot to me when we can affect fans like that. And, I believe that the Bare Knuckle Extreme fan page guys, they got him that belt. I believe they're the ones that got him that belt too. So again, they do great stuff for the fans, for the fighters, and for me, quite frankly, we love them. They're at every fight. I don't know how these guys do it. It's almost like they work for us, but they don't. They have their own jobs. But I don't know how they do it. But hey, I'm not asking any questions. They're on the road. We always see them, and they always treat us great. So Jackson, we will put that up. That'll go up on the wall of fame behind us. And again, if you have something that you want to send, you can do that. thebareknuckleshow@gmail.com. Brett Fields is ready to come on with us in just a second here. And I'm excited to talk to him because, hey, there's Brett. How are you, Brett? Can you hear me, Brett? This is always the fun part, going through this stuff. Hey, Brett, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
There he is. Brett, how
There
are
we
you?
are.
There we go. He's got the bare knuckle flag up. He's got the bare knuckle hat on. This guy's a company man. Brett, big win against Kane Tomlinson Sr. the other night in his hometown. I don't know if you know this. We just talked about it. He actually retired after the fight with you. He's not going to come back to bare knuckle. And I wish him well in his retirement. Is there something you'd like to say about that?
Well, to be honest with you, I wish him well too, man. He was a good opponent. He was game. And, the little smack talking that was in between, I guess I sent him into retirement. You know what I mean? So, not super happy about that. He's a good guy, man. And, after all the war is said and done, man, and none but respect. You know what I mean? He's a tough guy.
Yeah, and you're talking about the smack talk. If people don't know, the smack talk was the whole nickname. You're the Beast, he's the Beast, and I guess one of you guys was going to drop the nickname after the fight. Whoever won was going to keep the nickname. So did you speak to him afterwards about that? Did you let him know you're the Beast? Did you talk to him afterwards?
I did, and I just let him know. I said, so I guess I'm the Beast now, right? You know what I mean? So you might have to go ahead and change that name. I said, but then I had a change of heart, man. Like I said, when you do war with somebody and you really go to war with somebody in that ring, the bare knuckle ring, it's you got to respect your opponents afterwards, man. And so, I messed with him absolutely because he was running that mouth that there could only be one, the Highlander talk. And I am the one. I'm the Beast, That's it. And with all due respect to him, I think I let him. I'm pretty positive I showed him that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you did. You showed the crowd that. Again, he was a hometown favorite. I think the crowd was like, now the intensity on your face when you hit. I was watching the replay after it and stuff. I think I told you that afterwards. The intensity you have when you throw those punches, it just looks like, I mean, obviously your intent, you're in there, but just your facial expressions as you two go to war was unbelievable. So you're the Beast. You said he could keep the nickname, but the other nickname that you used to go by, I believe it was Big Loco, right?
Correct.
And you decided not to go by that nickname anymore. You want to be the Beast. Now, why not be Big Loco better? I mean, why not use that one?
It's an intimidating name, but it comes from my past. I have a past, like everybody else has a past, and my past is checkered with I used to be involved in the street life. I grew up in Chicago Heights, and that's where Capone used to run things, Al Capone, and I grew up around Italian mafiosos, and from a young age, I was involved in street stuff since I was 12. I got that nickname when I was 12 years old. And
wow.
First it was Little Loco.
Then you grew. Puberty hit.
After years of getting to 200-pound plus, my buddies had a change of heart, telling me we got to change that to Big Loco. But to answer your question, in all sincerity, I'm proud that I made it through that life. I was loyal to those that were loyal to me, and but that life's no good, man. And there's two places that you could end up, and that's really all. And it's true. And I know people have heard it before, but it's true, man. You're either going to be in prison for the rest of your life, or you're going to die. That's the two ways about that gang life. And to continue with the question, I felt like I would be glamorizing that gang life if I came out with my old nickname. I turned into the Beast. Why I did a long bid years ago for being a knucklehead, and it was gang related crimes. How long
were you in for? How long were you in for?
I did 10 straight, starting at 16.
Wow.
So when I came home, I was basically 26 years old.
Wow.
25.
And we're gonna get into that in a couple minutes. We'll talk more about that. But before we do, I just want to talk about how this wasn't your first fight in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and something you had told me privately. You'd said that you think that this fight obviously represented you way better. This is more of the fighter you are than your first time around, kind of thing. And what changes did you make? How did you change up the outcome and stuff? And
Well, the first one, to be quite honest with you, I always have had respect for bare knuckle. I love bare knuckle, and but I went into it more so as a street guy, and I've been training for years, so that was out of character for me.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I spent so many years, 26 years in that life. I went into it like a street fighter, and that was a mistake. I was fighting a veteran MMA fighter who already has won again in bare knuckle. You know what I mean? He's a good fighter, and I knew that. And it was something that I was not much of a defensive fighter over the years. I like to take punishment. It gets me madder. It gets me more into it. And that's the biggest lesson that I learned. This is professional fighting, and this is bare knuckle. This ain't 16-ounce gloves, 14-ounce gloves. No disrespect to boxers, but this is straight up war. You can get caught with one hit, and it's it. And I don't care who you are. I'm a tough guy. I showed in this fight I could take heavy hand hits.
Yeah,
but
sure did.
you know, you got to have your hands up. You got to be respectful of everybody that's in bare knuckles, because we're in here for a reason. We're the crazy ones of combat sports. We're the ones. I accept that. You know, it used to be my nickname. I am crazy, but I'm crazy in the good sense. I use this for the ring, this energy, this intensity, and like I said, I learned to be defensive and let your offense come from your defense. I think I showed a lot of that. I also showed that I could take punches and I could give them just as good as I could take them. And you know, I'm heavy-handed. I knocked him out with a jab. I mean, that says a lot, I would say, about
a whole lot. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, was that a jab? Is that what happened? Like, I watched the replay.
It was a jab. My overhand right. I missed him a couple times. I was getting frustrated because I wasn't keeping the measurement right when I was jabbed, and so I just decided, because I have power in both hands and I know how to fight southpaw as well as orthodox. I didn't switch stances, but I was getting ready to. But my left, as I said, is just almost as hard as my right. So I started throwing power jabs.
Yep.
And I was throwing them from weird angles, but they were all jabs. Them were jabs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So aside from fighting, I mean, we saw what you're capable of. I know that you've been practicing in, I believe it was martial arts since you're 8 years old. I could be wrong, but how old did you say? You were 12 years old when you joined into the gang life?
Yeah, I was 12.
Okay, you're 12, and what's the reasoning for that? I mean, is it problems at home, or why? Why did you join? I don't know. I don't know how this works.
I had a great mother. I had a good mother. But you know, I had a stepfather that wasn't too nice, and you know, not gonna be a boohoo story, but you know, I was abused, and I didn't like my situation with my stepfather, and my mother worked late nights, and he came home around 3 from construction, and it was just, you know, he drank a lot, and he never used to abuse me before he started drinking again. And when he started drinking, it was, you know, I was scared to death of him, so I wanted to get away from it, so I ran away. And in Chicago, on the streets of Chicago, it's very dangerous for a 12-year-old to be running the streets. To be quite honest with you, I wanted to learn to be tough on a level like my stepfather, and not be scared of someone like him. It wasn't good reasoning, but at the time, as a 12-year-old, I wanted the abuse to stop, and I was tired of it. And I figured I'd run with gangsters, and maybe I could get as tough as them one day. And it just took over a mind of its own, to be quite honest with you, and I got lost in that life.
I don't know anything about gangs, so I don't know if this is out of line what I'm about to ask you, but what gang were you in? Are you allowed to talk about that? Is that okay to talk about?
I can. I was from a gang from Chicago. don't want to glamorize it too much, but I was a gangster disciple, predominantly black gang.
Yeah, that's I do know. I've heard of that. And how did you? Yeah, predominantly black, and you're just a white guy, right? I mean, it's got to be hard.
So hence my nickname as well. I had to earn their respect, and that's why I earned the nickname. When the nickname Loco. When I was 12, I was Spooky G at first, just a nickname I gave to myself. But they changed that, and I'm not proud. Like I said, I'm not very proud of that life. I have grandbabies now. I got a daughter that's 27 years old, and that is they are the reason why I changed my life. Why I decided to go and go against all I knew for 26 years of my life. Mm-hmm. I was raised like that in that life, and
wow. At such a young age, though, you come in at such a young age, and you're getting almost infiltrated with thoughts from these people, and you don't know any better. Then you end up going to prison for, you said, what, 10 years? I believe it was gang-related violence. And when you're in prison, I mean, I've never been to prison. Most people haven't been to prison. It's not a fun place to go, I'd imagine. And you're there in prison. I mean, when you first went in, were you angry at the gang? Were you angry at yourself? Did you not care? What happened to you in prison? And I imagine, like, it's not a fun place to be. I mean, were there fights? A lot of fights with you? You're into fighting.
Yeah, that's where like it was gladiator school in there. It's especially the levels that I was on. I was on higher levels, mm-hmm. which is level 4, which is 85% are never going home. Oof. So the violence was second to none. Some people know about the movies America Me and Blood In, Blood Out. I did my time out west the first time. And I'm not from out there. I'm from Chicago. So very racial oriented, Aryan Brotherhood, Mexican Mafia. I don't want to get too much into it, but like I said, I was tested a lot. My nickname didn't go good for me. I look white. I'm Native American and white. And yeah, I was tested a lot because of my name and my skin color. So I got in a tremendous amount of fights. I was jumped a lot. I learned how to fight more than one. That's why I think I rushed in the first fight, because I was so used to doing that when I was away. And that was my survival. And I've, over the last year and 10 months since that fight, I been sparring, I've been doing this too long. The training for so many years now. Since 2008, I've been training Jeet Kune Do with Jeremy Morrison. Nice. A great guy, private training, all of it. MMA. Then when I started bare knuckle boxing, he's a specialist in every area. He's got like 10 black belts and multiple degrees in each black belt. He's awesome. So he used to compete when it was MMA with bare knuckles.
Oh, there you go. Okay, he's OG, man. He's real. That's awesome. So that's a great guy to be with. Probably motivational. But I got to rewind for a second. This is so captivating. When you talk about all the fights inside prison, I always imagine, because I've thought of things like this, like what would it be like if I ever had to go to prison? I mean, I've no reason to go, but what would it be like? And I would imagine the food's terrible. I'd imagine there's certain things you want, whether it be a woman. 10 years without a woman, I'd lose my mind. 10 years without good food, I'd lose my mind. When you got out, was there a certain, like, something you really wanted? Food, a woman, whatever it would be? Like, is there something you really craved?
Yeah, both. I was a kid when I went away, so I had never been with a woman. I've been with girls, I was a kid. So that was something I was very intrigued by when I came home. But the food, I went to Red Lobster. I hadn't had seafood in so long. They're not giving you seafood in there. So, the food was garbage. I lived mainly off the commissary in there, and I worked out like a maniac in there. I got up to 250 pounds with 21-inch arms.
Wow.
I because in there I was fighting multiple people, so it wasn't necessarily about being the fastest one. It was about being the most powerful one. Yeah. And when you're getting jumped and you're a big guy, it's hard for them to pick you up, put you on the ground so they could stomp you. It's harder for them to take full control of you. And I'm proud of that, because I believe it or not, even in one-on-threes, I was kicking some good ass. I didn't beat them, but they didn't beat me. But anyways, that, I'm not, only thing I'm really proud of is how I carried myself in there. I didn't let nobody make me become a racist person like how a lot of them are out there. I decided once my daughter was born, which sadly she was born a week after I got locked up. So I was in for many years of her life, and I chose then and there to start to change my life. I didn't stop being a gangster yet. I was still young, but I knew that I wasn't ever going to be the same kind of gangster ever again, and I never was. Good. When I came home, I was always seeing my daughter, my family. I was still active at the time, but I wasn't gang banging no more.
It wasn't like it used to be. It wasn't like it used to be.
Yeah, and now, since the age of 33, I've completely retired. I've completely left the life. My brother, rest in peace, that fight was dedicated to him. If it wasn't for my brother, Jeremy, I would have never had the confidence to go ahead and chase my childhood dream since I was 8 years old to become a professional fighter. He talked me into it when we were watching Brock Lesnar one day of the USC back in like 2008. And he said, "Why don't you do that?" He goes, "You've been fighting martial arts since you was a little kid." And I was like, "Yeah, but I haven't done that since I was a little kid." He's like, "But you've been fighting the whole time you was in there."
Yeah.
In prison for your life. He goes, "Why don't you just go into a school?" So less than a week later, I was in my first schools in 2008, and I haven't looked back since. And like I said, by the age of 33, I got my GED and my high school diploma before I left prison, and then I never, for the last 10 years now, I've been. I don't even speed, man. I don't break a law. And I'm proud of that.
You should be proud of that. And we're proud to have you with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, that you can inspire younger kids and make them not take that road. I do have to kind of take a U-turn here. I got all kinds of questions coming in. People are very intrigued that have never been in prison. They have all these questions for you. Actually, one of them, we talked about this the other day. I asked you something like, "You ever try prison hooch?" You know, they make the hooch in prison. They make the alcohol. But the other thing was, from the commissary, I was talking to Evan about this. He was texting back and forth, sending me messages. He's right. There's certain recipes that you make from commissary, right? Like certain things. Is there anything from prison like that you still make, or you've taught somebody when they got out to make, that you kind of eat? Is that, you don't want to think about that?
Every once in a while, I'll break out. I make homemade tamales, but with different ingredients. Sorry.
That's all right. Now they know how to spell your name. Brett Fields. That was 2 T's, Fields. You can search for him on Instagram.
Yeah, right.
Anyway. So you'll make your own stuff still sometimes?
Yeah, tamales, and then a lot of it was done with Roman noodles. We would make different breaks, cut up different meats, summer sausages, roast beef, cheese, tuna breaks. They're called breaks, and that's what we call them. And usually, your workout crew or whoever you hang with, we just get together and we make food, because if you're eating the food from in the kitchen, you're going to lose weight, and it's
rough.
It's garbage. It's prison. It's not made to be good. So
of course. Now the other thing is, I think here, you're talking. These things are coming to my head too. You're in for 10 years. You go in at a young age. You're in for 10 years. Then you get out. So another thing I've always thought about when I watch these prison shows and stuff, when you get out after 10 years, you're isolated from the world. You don't know of music. You don't know of TV shows. You know nothing, I don't think. Is that correct to say? You don't know. So when you come out, what's the culture shock like?
In 1996, I went away right before Tupac was murdered. And rest in peace to Tupac. I love him. My team is Team Machiavelli and honor him. And they finally just got the murderer 27 years later. So right before my fight, it was like all the signs were kicking. I just got Tupac tattooed on me on my rib cage. I've listened to him ever since I was a little kid, and he's more than a rapper, always has been. And I'm sorry, I had to say that though. It's awesome that finally getting some justice for Tupac. And like I said, my team is Team Machiavelli, my fight team ever since I was in amateur MMA. And But anyways, go back to your question.
Oh
I
no,
apologize.
that's great to know, man. Machiavelli, Tupac, you know, he's like I said, he's a poet. He's not just a rapper. But I'm asking you, culture shock, and we'll get ready to end on this. Culture
Sorry,
shock when you come out.
I get you. I was gonna bring up one of the most funniest for me was I left and I had a beeper when I went away, and pagers. We had the pagers.
Beepers. Yeah.
And then you know, cell phones were around, but they were the big ones. They were, you know, from the 1980s.
The Zach Morris style up to the side.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I, when I first came home, I was amazed by the fact that they had 10-year-olds with cell phones, and I had never even had a cell phone ever in my life. I didn't know what they were about. So that, I mean, they had MySpace at the time. I didn't know nothing about.
Get your top eight. Get your top eight up there. Yeah.
I didn't know nothing about none of that. So all that was new to me. I mean, I didn't have a license so I had to learn how to drive better. I knew how to drive because I was a little hoodlum as a kid, so I would drive. But legally, I had to go get a license. I had to take the license test like I was 16, all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
You know, everything was very new to me. PlayStation 2 was out. When I went away, it was Sega Genesis.
Yeah, big difference there. Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's
so a lot of that was it was difficult to get used to at first. Not the cell phones and stuff like that, but certain things, you know, just social media in general. I'm still getting used to it more. I started originally for my amateur career and my grandbabies, because my daughter and my grandbabies are out in Arizona. So
that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're on social media. I'm glad people can find you. Wesley Kill Eagle here, before we let you go, he wants to know, what tribe are you? Do you know what tribe you are? You said you were.
Yes, I'm Cherokee and Blackfoot.
There you go, Cherokee and Blackfoot. Wesley Kill Eagle, there's your question. What's next for Brett Fields? I'm going to tell you before you speak, I feel like no matter what happens for you in fighting, you obviously want to succeed. You probably want to win titles, but I think it's nice that you're able to kind of speak to the young kids that might be looking at the gang life, that might make those mistakes, and maybe you can stop them.
Well, you know what? That's a goal, not only a goal. I would be honored to do that. I feel like I need to give back. You know, I wish I had an individual that was from that life already, an OG that had changed his life and was willing to show me this is what's going to happen. And you know, I would love to go to some high schools, talk to at-risk kids, and definitely get into that. That's a huge goal of mine, and I will eventually be doing that. I look forward to it.
I hope you can. That's something I'd like to kind of implement here at BKFC as well. When we go to a town, like kind of, you know, in a goodwill way, speak to the local community. So that's something you could definitely fit in with. But as far as fighting, what's next for you, Brett? Where are you headed?
Well, I'm anxious to get back in there, but I know, you know, I got to let the hands heal up, you know what I mean? You know, bare knuckles. So no big injuries, nothing like that. So I'm looking to get back in there. Hopefully right after. I would love Knuckle Mania.
Who would, right?
You know, in February, that'd be awesome. But, you know, I'm looking to get back in there in January, hopefully. You know what I mean? So if we could a little sooner, but January is what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? And I would like to get in there. And, obviously, anybody that gets into fighting would like to be a champion, but I got to work my way up. And that's what I plan on doing, is putting in the work and earning my shot one day. So, I'm just looking to go ahead and fight whoever they put in front of me, David Feldman and Nate Shook. Let me know. And I'm always willing to ride out, man. You know, the first person I fought, he was a veteran, you know, Ward, you know, and he already fought again in bare knuckle. I'd eventually like to get a rematch with him if he continues to fight in bare knuckle, which it looks like he is. He's 2-0. So
yeah, I think
cupcake. Think
anything that can happen in bare knuckle for you, we're glad to have you. Any fight you have, the fans will probably be happy to see it. I'm happy to have you here because I think you're able to tell your story, like I said, through fighting. And not only are you becoming a better fighter, as you've said yourself, I think It's amazing to see what a human being you've come and how you're helping people. So we appreciate that. Brett Fields, make sure you check him out on Instagram, and we'll see more of you soon, Brett. Just keep up the good fight, man. You're doing all the good stuff to help people out, and we love that.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate your time, man, and you have a good rest of your day, man. Love all you fans. BKFC, bare knuckle, baby. I love it. I'm a warrior. Thug life, baby. I'm there. I'm here to stay, man. I'm here to stay.
You are. And if you ever see Brett in a fight, go up and talk to him. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and he's willing to give any kind of advice or any kind of help. If you feel like you might be getting into something you shouldn't, I'm sure Brett could help you out. Hit him up on social media. Brett, thanks again for your time, man. It was good talking to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. You have a good one, bud.
You're welcome.
See you again soon.
See
Awesome.
you, man. And congratulations on the human being you're becoming. It's awesome. All right, so there goes Brett Fields. I didn't expect to spend that much time with him, but the guy's captivating. He's been into a lot of stuff. I know Chris Lytle's waiting to get on here. I don't want to back him up. He's all confused. He's texting me, am I on the right link? Chris, you are on the right link if you're listening. So let's talk to Chris Lytle. Is he there waiting for us still?
Soscia.
Can you hear me?
It takes a second to switch from one to the
I didn't
next.
know if he's there. I didn't know if he was in the waiting room is what I mean. So we're
Yes,
gonna have,
he is.
Okay, thank you. We're going to have Chris Lytle, Lights Out Lytle, come on. We're going to talk to him about the BKFC 51 card, what he thought about it. We're going to talk to him a little bit about tryouts, and we're going to have a Lytle lightning round. We're asking him just stupid questions to see what he says. He came and he left. That's the story of some guys. They just come and then they leave. You know? Brandon, you're used to that. All right. So, oh, it was the producer's mic. You didn't hear what he said in my ear. He said he came and he left. He came and he left. So Chris Lytle, waiting to get him on. Like I said, we're going to talk about some of the best things that he saw. We're going to do a Lytle lightning round. Now, I think that's going to be fun, the Lytle lightning round. Billboard Nerds, by the way, saying, great interview, Brett. People in the chat seem to like Brett and seem to like what he stands for. And that's why I wanted him on the show. I mean, he's a tough guy that's just trying to kind of get back into where he needs to be as a human. I mean, next time I'm going to try to get more stories out of him. But the guy fighting multiple people in jail, what do you say? It was 250 pounds or something at one point?
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine going to the clink at like, what was he, 14 he said, or 16 or whatever he was? I got to think being young kind of saved him a little bit from doing more time or from, I don't know. I mean, it seemed pretty serious. So, but Brett, thank you for coming on. Is Lytle back in the hopper yet? Good, he's back. Oh, there he is. Lights Out Lytle, my man. Sorry, we ran long with Brett Fields because I don't know what you know about him, but Brett has an amazing story of redemption, and it was just, I was captivated by it. So sorry we're running late. But
that's all right. But just for the record, you wouldn't do well in prison. I heard you asking about your prison stay. I don't think it'd go well for you, buddy.
If I ever had to go to prison, I've thought about this. I had a friend that went to prison, a couple friends went to prison, and the one guy, he's very little, and he's going to get destroyed in every way in prison. You know he's going to. He's there for a very long time. I told my wife, I'm like, if I was him, knowing I'm going, I would just shoot so much steroids in my body and just get as big as I could. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. That's all you do. I'd get Chris Lytle and I'd be like, teach me how to fight. It'd be, I don't know if I don't know if I'd fare well in prison either. I think I'm too friendly.
Hey,
I'd be like, how you guys doing?
I can fight pretty well, but man, 1 versus like 5, I don't think I'm beating too many. I'm not fighting those eyes, I don't think. Just hearing Brett talk about 3-on-1, and I like what he said. I didn't win them all, but I didn't lose. You know, and that's the main thing. You just can't lose. That's a problem.
Do you think, I don't know. I don't think I could be who I needed to become in prison. I think I'd be, hey guys, what's up? How is it in here? You want to play some cards? And they'd be like, we're going to beat the shit out of you. You're annoying and weird.
You better go to white collar place, man. You know,
the vacation,
steal money from people.
Right.
Don't gangbang. That's how you
you gotta do fraud. You'd be better off in those streets. You get a nice drink with an umbrella in it. All right, let's get into it, Lytle. We got you here. I appreciate you coming on, and I want to talk quick. We won't have to go super long, but let's talk about the highlights of the main card, or not the main card, the whole card, I should say. BKFC 51. I'll tell you this: Salem, Virginia. Loud, extremely loud, so loud I don't know if you could even hear what you were saying. It was hard to hear you guys on the mics and the commentary. It was very loud there. Great crowd.
Yeah, I went there to the tryouts about a month before that, so I could just tell. I knew the excitement that was there, and they have a lot of good fighters, and they have a lot of support for the fighters. So it's exactly what I expected. I knew when we went there it was going to be loud, and they were going to be ready, and they were going to be amped up, especially for their hometown guys. I always love it when you have somebody coming in fighting a hometown guy. The other guy, he's always booed. I'm like,
yep.
Well, why are you booing him? You know what I mean? It's just fun to me. But, yeah, we had a lot of that. It was great.
And I see Harris Stevenson commenting. I'd seen Brian Maxwell earlier. They're petitioning in the chat here. Fight of the night should be Stevenson versus Maxwell. I mean, I don't know if I agree or disagree. I just know that I have no bearing on what the fight of the night is. But what a fight. I said this before. You see technical fights. You see brawls. You see a little bit of everything. And I don't know what to call that fight other than like the Iron Will fight. And it was like Hulk Hogan, somebody said earlier. He'd fall, Maxwell, and the crowd would like will to get back up. And he kept getting back up. It ended, unfortunately. But, I mean, thoughts on that fight?
But one thing I did love about the crowd, when Brian Maxwell would get knocked down, and he'd get to about 5, and then the crowd would start counting 6, 7, 8, and then he'd stand up. So it was like, I don't know. To me, Fight of the Night is the most entertaining fight, and that was the most entertaining because, like you talked about, the heart, the drama. That's why people do these type of events, and that's what they want to see them is, overcoming adversity, dealing with, problems, getting knocked down and getting back up. Me and Sean Wheelock always talk about my favorite thing is when a guy gets knocked down, gets up off the canvas to win. Well, both these guys got knocked down multiple times. So how that fight ended, it was unfortunate that it had to be disqualification, but it was the right call. I mean, the bad thing for Brian Maxwell, he was just really starting to take the lead right there. I mean, he had to get a knockout. He had his opponent hurt. When he got the knockout, we don't know, but we'll never know because he hit him when he was on the ground.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's a shame it ended like that, especially with the crowd participation, everybody. And I will say, if they end up doing Fight of the Night, that could very well be it. I know that Slick Rick Caruso's in the chat. He fought Landon Williams. He defeated Landon via first-round KO. Congratulations to him. Thank you for stopping in, Rick. And then also, I want to talk about, we had him on, Brett Fields. We just had him on. We were talking about Brett Fields trying to change his life. Brett Fields defeating Kane Tomlinson Sr., who was like a legend in the area. Kane, I don't know if you saw this, Chris. Kane ended up retiring from action, from Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And they were fighting over the name The Beast. And Brett Fields is The Beast. Kane will always be The Beast. But, I mean, that's another fight. I tell you, no disrespect to Brett, but I saw him fight Lloyd Cupcake Mix. And I thought Kane had this in the bag, but you never know.
Man, I mean, and I feel bad for Kane because I've seen this happen a couple of times. He's going out there and he's looking really good offensively, does a lot of good things, very positive. But then, man, it's bare knuckle. It just takes one shot. And you got to be careful being too aggressive, being too offensive, because when you open yourself up, all it takes is one punch, especially going against a big, strong guy like Brett Fields. And that's all it took. It was pretty much a jab, just a real hard, stiff jab, right in the right spot, cut Kane open. That's it. So I'm glad to see he's decided time to retire. As a fighter, it's hard to know when. You always have that fire and that desire to keep fighting. It's just when is enough? Because you can still say this when you're 60. It's like you have to do what's best for your body, your mind, body, so everything. I like to see people find a way to continue to be involved with the sport, but not continuing to take the damage.
Chris, is that hard for you as a former fighter at such a high level that I know you're working in the industry of fighting still, but is it easier because you're working? You're like saying, if you weren't, would it be hard for you to attend a fight? I mean, even if you know you're not up to snuff and you can't do what you used to at some point, you come to that realization. Is that hard to accept, to go to a fight? Like, oh, I wish I could be in there, man.
100%. And I don't think you ever really think I still can't do it. I think you still think you can. And I promise right now, I still think, I could beat 90% of these people. You have to be in a way a little delusional to be a fighter. You have to be able to go out there and lose a fight and be able to be like, I'm going to win the next one. I can beat anybody in the world if you think you're at that level. Like I've seen people get knocked out and it doesn't deter them at all. Other people, it gets in their head. Am I good? Am I not that good? And if you start doubting yourself, you're going to have problems. So I really think you have to be somewhat delusional, and that's continued in my head. I feel like nobody can ever stop me. I'm invincible, and you always just think, when is it time to quit? I try to listen to people around me and try and do the best thing for me. Like if I kept fighting, would I be able to be doing commentary? Probably not, because all my favorite fighters that I love watching their style, who had styles like me, they ended up with some brain damage. So I'm glad I quit when I did.
So I don't know if you realize this, but you just pretty much called out more than half, 90% of the combat sports industry. Said like you beat 90% of the guys. So if you want to name names, I mean, I'm sure we get you another bare knuckle fight, Chris.
Oh, anybody wants to come, here's the problem. Here's the problem. You have to be, I got a couple of stipulations. You got to be over 40 and you can't train very much because I'm not going to be able to train for much. I do too much bare knuckles. And I'm going to have to do the fight. I'm going to have to do commentary, have my headphones on, and then say, Sean, I'll be right back. Put him down and go fight and come right back.
Hell no, I want you mic'd up. You should do No, you're doing commentary on your own fight while you're fighting. I would pay a lot of money to watch that, Lytle. That'd be phenomenal. Game, set, match.
I don't know how that'd work. If I'm wearing headphones, that might not be legal.
I don't know. I don't know how we would do it, but I want to see it done.
We'll work it out once the technology's there.
That's right. I'm sure it'll be there one day. Anything else in the card? I have a couple more things I want to hit, but is there anything you want to hit on from this card that really stood out to you?
Man, there was this card was surprisingly very good. When I saw it, you never know. On paper, it looks one way. In reality, it could be the best fight card on the world, and they might not produce. You can have just an average one, and it can oversee the expectations. That's why I felt here. There's a lot of good knockouts early. I mean, hell, the first 7 fights, all they did in stoppages, 6 knockouts and 1 disqualification. And then the last 2 fights were really good, just tough fights. Joe Elmore, tough as nails always, quite a character, a lot of fun to watch. But, man, Dustin Pegg just showed me that he's going to be a problem for a lot of people. He had great head movement, stays in and out, willing to trade, can just be slick. He can kind of do a lot of different aspects. It's very important for bare knuckles. So he showed me he's ready to go up to the next level, be a title contender. Bret Hart, I thought she's got to be careful. This is a trap fight. She's thinking about the next fight 5 weeks away. She's in her hometown. Mm-hmm. She's probably got all these distractions. And she went in there against a girl who's pretty one-dimensional, but that one dimension is tough. Getting in and wearing you down like she's done against Sidney Smith, that is legit. That is tough. That's the most tiring style of fighting to deal with. And Bret Hart did it great and just won easily, I thought.
And yeah, Britain proved why she's a champ. I mean, Melanie Shaw just coming forward. And she's tough as nails. She's fun to watch fight. I'm sure she would have loved to have won, but as a fan, I didn't even care who won. I knew it was a fun fight. I like watching Melanie Shaw fight. She's one of those kind of fighters for me. Now, Chris, before we let you get out of here, we just kind of unpacked a little bit of the card. We're going to do the Lytle lightning round. I didn't prepare you for this, but I'm going to ask you a bunch of random questions so people can get to know the real Chris Lytle, not just the guy they see on TV. They want to know Chris Lytle. So these are just regular questions. You answer them quick. The Lytle lightning round. You ready? And then we'll let you out of here.
I love it.
I know some of these answers, but let's see. Number 1, texting or talking? What would you rather do?
Talking.
I'm right there with you. I would argue the guys in the control room. I think he's sick, Evan, but he's probably more of a texter and a talker, millennial guy. But he doesn't usually act like one.
He's texting right now.
Yeah, he's texting somebody. And then let's see. Favorite day of the week? Ooh.
Oh man. Geez. Right now it's Sunday, man. I like to just hang out, relax, do nothing, watch football. It's a good day.
I stopped watching football. I only watch the XFL. Friday's my favorite night when there's a bare knuckle fighting championship fight. You like that? And you can also
you're talking.
You can also comment in the section too. Let me know your answers to see if they match up with Chris Lytle. Let's see. Nickname your parents used to call you. We know you as Lights Out, but have you ever had another nickname?
Oh, geez, man. I don't know if anything I'm allowed to say here. A lot of bad stuff. I was a wild kid. You know what I mean? So,
what about your friends? My friends would call me Jerk Off. They still call me that sometimes.
they call me Gumby. My nickname was Gumby, man, because I'm real flexible. I did a lot of
really.
Like when I was wrestling and everything, yeah. They said, "Man, you don't have any bones." So I don't know.
Gumby, I like that. So now someone's gonna come up to your show and call you. What's up? It's Gumby Lytle. I'll
punch him right in the face.
It won't be me. It won't be me. We gotta I gotta if Jeff Houston isn't watching, I have to lure him into that. So hey, your nickname's Gumby. I'll just watch you smash him. Sorry, Jeff. Or Sean. Somebody. Anybody. I just want to watch it. I love you too, Sean. All right, let's talk about this is interesting. Would you rather speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Oh man. Let's talk to animals, man. I mean, you can get translators. You can, and everybody speaks English anyway. What's it matter? You know what I mean? Speak American. So I don't know what these animals are thinking. I like to hear some stuff. I don't know who knows. So everybody speaks American. We can deal with that.
Speaks American. That's a nice way of putting it. Favorite holiday, Chris? What's your favorite holiday?
Geez, I don't know. I like 4th of July quite a bit just because it's fun. I like Thanksgiving's always been a big one for me because of the family. Plus, as a wrestler, always cutting weight that whole time. And that was always a day, no matter what, you take off and you would just eat no matter what and gain, 15 pounds or whatever. Stupid. So I always loved that one. You know what I mean? So, Christmas is good just because getting together with the family. The older I get, the more, I don't, it's not about getting gifts, but just about hanging out with your people, man. It's great.
What a great guy you are to say something like that. And, I used to love when I wrestled too, they'd give you that couple pounds allowance around the holidays. So that was good too. Scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
Oh, according to me, I'm probably at least a 9. But, my wife, she says I'm like a 5. She says I'm terrible.
What does she know?
But I never hit anything, so I don't know what she's talking about. Just because I don't obey certain laws or rules. I'm not stopping that stop sign if there's nobody around. What's the point? It needs to be a yield sign. So I kind of go by my own rules. And
the ones
no matter what.
The ones with the white border.
People speed. Everybody speeds. They don't obey that one. Nobody goes the speed limit.
It's anarchy. It's chaos.
Everybody's doing what I'm saying. They're just hypocritical, and they don't do it all the time. I do it all the time.
Wow. Wesley Killieg on the chat says his uncle used to call him Stink Pud. I don't want to know how he got that name. All right, last one. You got a choice. Invisibility or a super strength. Would you rather be invisible or have super strength?
Well, I already got the super strength.
I knew you were going to say that.
Invisibility.
I knew you were going to say invisibility.
No, invisibility would be better, man. You could nobody see. You could hear what was going on. It'd be great. You
could rob a bank. Nobody would know.
Yeah, well, they probably see the money walking out. What's going on?
I don't know who did it. We'd be rich. I mean, you could buy bare knuckle fighting championship. Chris Lights Out Lytle.
Well, quick thing, real quick. That's what I said. My nose isn't normally red like this. I got just a grappling accident yesterday, man. I don't know what happened. So I come home, I see it'll go away in a couple of days, I hope, because it looks crazy. It looks like Rudolph right now. So
I was going to say, I thought that was your love of the Christmas holiday season. I thought you maybe were getting in character already.
That won't happen. We got Halloween first, Thanksgiving. We got a lot to go first. So,
All right. Well, we have a lot more time. We're going to talk to Chris Lytle a lot more times in the future, I should say. Always love when he comes on. Have some fun with him. Chris Lights Out Lytle, thank you for your time. We appreciate you, Chris. Always good to talk to you.
Anytime, baby. Can't wait till next one. Get to hang out with you.
I know you can't. We'll hang out and have a good time. Chris Lytle, thank you very much, my friend. This is where the producers end this. There we go. Because then it goes, we'll say bye 10 times.
I thought he was going to say thanks.
Cut him off. All right, we got all screwed up because I went long with Brett. So let's just kill that. The segment we were going to do, the floating segment, let's just do that now. And this is a lot of good stuff in this segment. I'm very excited about it. First off, we should open it. A couple weeks ago, we saw Chris Camozzi unfortunately lost to the Juggernaut. I mean, depending who you ask, unfortunately, I'm sure the Juggernaut wouldn't feel that way. But Chris Camozzi, I don't know if you guys saw this. He put out a video on Instagram of his influencer girlfriend. She's absolutely beautiful, trying to take his stitches out, I think. Just listen to the sounds. I want to be quiet during this and watch. She's gagging.
Oh, so gross.
You should tug on it a little. It's fine to
That's so
tug on
gross.
it, he
I don't
says.
want to tug on it. Ew, it's these little threads that I'm like, do I pull those out of the skin? Oh my god, this is fucking disgusting. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Did you feel that?
If we just played the audio for this, it'd be a completely different segment.
This is so fucking nasty. Okay, let me. Oh. Hold on. Because it's caked with blood.
Let us know in the chat what you think of this. Would you let your girl do this to you?
Okay, hold on.
Would you have her take out the stitches?
Is that it?
All right, there we go. I think that's all. I mean, look, let's be honest. We don't care about the sound, Russell says. Screw the sound. He said, we just want to watch. I don't know why you're so excited about that. I didn't see anything wrong with that. I knew you guys would love that. That's why we aired it. Chris Camozzi, thank you for sending us that video. And your poor, poor girlfriend having to rip those stitches out. Also, I want to talk about BKFC 51 and the stars in attendance. The BKFC stars, champion Reggie Barnett was there. We welcomed him with open arms, but we had a bunch of other people there as well. Everybody from, they were sitting front row. You might have seen them on the broadcast, some of them. We had, who was there? I saw Keith Rockstar Richardson. I saw Tony Loco Soto. I saw Taylor Starling. There we go. All there, ready to rock. That's why you love BKFC. When you come to an event, you never know who you're going to meet. These fighters love coming. They love supporting. It's all there for you. So we're glad they were there. But if you noticed on the broadcast, we talked to Taylor Starling. Taylor Starling did a little bit of a call out. She said she wants Jenny Savage, the Tennessee Gangsta, next. And Jenny responded almost immediately on Instagram. We have what she put on Instagram. Jenny said something like, I think it was, give me that butt. And if you look at it, this is, I guess, from years back. There's Taylor and Jenny fighting. I believe it was M1 Global USA. Jenny won due to strikes when Taylor turned her back. So
go back to that last picture.
I don't know if we can go back. I kind of scrolled that in the thing. The first one you're saying?
I saw Truckin back there too.
Oh, he was back there. Good eye, Evan. Look at you. So that's
look at Brandon.
going to be a fight that.
There he is. That's Truck.
Oh, that is Truck. Good, Evan. Great eye. Truck and Carson. Shout out to him as well. But that was their last fight. That's how it ended. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. I believe Tennessee Gangster has it on YouTube. You can watch that fight. That's a fight I wouldn't mind seeing. I'm excited for that if it happens. Evan, I mean, that's something that I feel like Taylor and Jenny would be a fun fight.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. And it's going to be fun to watch. Another thing I want to talk about, I don't know if this kind of went past your radar, but I don't think there's a big pomp and circumstance about it, but a very, I guess, a fan favorite bare knuckle fighter is back with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I don't know if he re-signed. I don't know if it's a one-off. I don't know what it is. But ladies, do we have a drum roll? I don't know if we do. Do we have a drum roll? I didn't put it in the format. I'm sorry, Evan. I just thought about it now. I can do my own.
Just do your own.
Ready? Back to bare knuckle fighting, ladies and gentlemen. There he is, Julian Lane. Let me bang! We're going to let him bang. He's coming back to fight. We're looking forward to it. BKFC.com. You can check out more details on who he's going to be fighting, on what card he's going to be on. It's all up there. Make sure you hit the website, though, if you want to learn more about Julian Lane coming back.
Why don't we just say who he's fighting? It's on the website.
Dude, Evan.
What?
There's a whole method to my madness. You want to drive people to a website so they go there. If I tell them they're not going to go. Give them now. Just tell them.
No, well, let's see. All right. Go to the website. Count to 5. I'm going to let Brandon go to the website. We're going to pull up what's on the website.
The brass would appreciate what I was doing here. I was leading people to the website so they go there and they can experience more than just Julian.
Well, do you want me to go to the website or do you want me to come to the BK or the Bare Knuckle show first?
You're damn. You know what? Yeah, screw the website. I like you, Evan. I like what you're saying here. You're right. Good thought. There it is on the website.
I think you say Merzat Kazgan.
I'm not going to say.
Click him.
I just know that Julian is back. There you go. Murat.
I don't know how to say it.
Murat. But regardless, I always say it. I'm looking forward to Julian Lane. He always has
an exciting fight.
Awesome fights. I agree. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's on top of the championship being defended, Mundell and Coltrane. That's going to be at the Olympia, Mr. Olympia Expo in Orlando, Florida. Get your tickets, BKFC.com, because it's going to sell out. There's no doubt about it. And we're looking forward to that.
It's like a limited, right? It's a small little intimate
That's
thing.
the cool part. I'm excited because it's almost like you get in, you don't. There's nothing we can do.
Get them now because there's very limited availability. It's a very
Olympia
it's a boutique event. Very exclusive. So you go to the Olympia. Get your free supplements
so much free
and stuff.
You were there last year, remember?
Yeah, it was fun.
The amount of free stuff, and you can meet all these famous fighters, bodybuilders, all kinds of people. There's other combat sports going on. You come to the expo, like he said, you have a lot of fun. We're teaming up with the Olympia.
Is the show in the same expo hall, or is it in the same building?
Expo hall is going to close, and we're working on some logistics. It is in the same building, and the cool thing is, with Olympia being involved, there's at least 100,000 people there. So all these new fans, because last year when we did it in Vegas, they were like, "You're doing a fight? You're doing a fight?" Well, this year, yes, we're doing a fight. So come on down to Orlando, check out the Olympia, Mr. Olympia. Very proud to be partnering with them.
What's the date?
It's going to be awesome. What's that?
What's the date?
November 2nd?
Right?
3rd. November 3rd. There you go. Because I'm there both days, Friday and Saturday, for the expo as well. We're looking forward to that.
Tickets on sale now.
And we hope to see you there. Thank you, Evan. Tickets on sale now. BKFC.com. Another thing I want to get to before we get out of here is the press conference, the post-fight presser. I don't know how many of you got to see this or not. There's a really cool moment. We have some audio of it between Melanie Shaw and Britton Hart. Melanie basically saying that, she came here as a fan. She was a fan of Britton, and she wanted to kind of show off to Britton a little bit, show her toughness. And Britton, before we wrapped up with Melanie Shaw, she was like, I want to speak. So gave the mic to Britton, and here's the audio, what Britton had to say.
All right. Britton Hart has a question for Melanie Shaw. I love this. Thank you, Britton.
I do want to say that Melanie did impress me tonight, absolutely. And I'm glad that you went against the best BKFC female fighter.
I like that. Thank you, Britton. There you go. You got what you came for. You impressed her.
There you go. I said at the same time as that must be a verbal crutch. There you go, because I said
that threw me off. I wasn't looking at you. I thought that was you talking right now.
Yeah, it's
That's why I faded it out.
Too much Soscia at once. Oh my God. All right, and then the other thing was that was a great moment between them that I wanted to hit was I'm going to call this Vespi Selects. I love our photographers, Phil as well, but this is Vespi stuff. It's something he posted. It's some of the selects that he had on his Instagram page. I mean, you can look at these. They just catch so many great moments. There's Joe Elmore after a battle. I mean, each one you got there you go. I mean, these photos, the essence of what we do is captured so well in a lot of these. They could tell stories. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that a great shot? Boom. Right on the nose, right in the face. This is what you see when you come to a bare knuckle fighting championship event. Again, BKFC.com. You want to find out where we're going to be next. You can get your tickets or grab that BKFC app for $7.99 a month. There's nothing like this sport. And I'm not saying it because I work here. I'm saying it because it's the God honest truth. It's like I'm picking this
fumbling around with
I'm
it?
getting my next segment ready here. I thought I wasn't going to be on camera because I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. But the one thing you see, I'm wearing a Veteran Life T-shirt. Hold on, let me move this. Yeah. That's who we're partnering with for the vets. You know, we've always talked about Folds of Honor. They're an amazing company. But Veteran Life and My Base, they're helping to promote us, and we're very proud of that. We're giving out shirts and stuff at the show. Shout out to Veteran Life. Great shirts, great gear, and just awareness for the vets. We love the vets, especially at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. We do what we can to kind of honor you, so we appreciate it. The other shirt that somebody gave me, I meant to show this last week. There's a podcast out of Montana called The Weekly Bust. And I guess based off the Wayne's World logo, it busts world. So we appreciate that, guys. Thanks for the shirt. Check out the Weekly Bust, man. They got some great stuff going on.
What does that mean, the Weekly Bust?
I guess they're busting out every week, man. I don't know.
They're busting
I'd
out
probably
shows
I'd bust more than once weekly. I don't
daily
know.
Bust.
How the multiple times per day bust. How about that one? Ric Flair, actually, the wrestler, once told a psychiatrist, I read this, that he would bust about 3-4 times a day. And the psychiatrist couldn't believe it. They thought he was joking. Woo! There it is. Hey, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it. Guys, we're going to be back again next week. You like wrapping me up. Until next week, stay bucked up and knuckle up. Thanks for hanging out.
Definitely the most complete bare knuckle fighter we have today.
He is arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in BKFC.
All due respect to Richard Barnett, he's held the belt, but that's my belt now. I want it.
I'm built for this shit. Are you not entertained?
Kevin Crew came to drop bombs and bang moms. What's up, ladies?